In a shocking turn of events, Josep Maria Bartomeu resigned from his post as the president of La Liga giants Barcelona. Bartomeu leaves Barcelona along with his entire board of directors. The news was initially reported across all Spanish media, and the club made it official soon afterwards, with the chief announcing his departure from Camp Nou in a press conference on Tuesday evening. Bartomeu had been the president of the Catalonian Giants since 2014, but was under increasing pressure to leave following public criticism from star player Lionel Messi and a host of current and former players over the way he's done things at the club. Reports claim that the 57-year-old eventually decided to resign from his post after it became abundantly clear that he'd be kicked out of the club once the vote of no confidence went forward. A number of the club's directors have also followed suit. There was a meeting following the team's El Clasico defeat at the hands of Real Madrid, and it appears that everything was decided then and there. While there may have been many reasons that contributed to his resigning, perhaps Bartomeu's reputation suffered a final blow due to his handling of the Messi saga when the club's icon requested a transfer. The six-time Ballon d'Or winner had grown disillusioned with life at Camp Nou and was reportedly eager to make a move to Man City. However, following a series of conversations with the player's father, Messi was forced into staying at Camp Nou and was reportedly also threatened with legal action if he continued to pursue a move away from Spain. While Camp Messi eventually relented and the player decided to stick around for the current campaign, the damage had been done. The legendary forward was clearly not happy with how things transpired, while many of the club's fans believed that things could have been handled better by the president. For almost 6 years, Bartomeu has been calling the shots at the club, but after not being able to get the best out of the club's questionable recruitment policies, the club's fans came together and managed to get the required number of signatures to initiate a no-confidence vote. And to save face, Bartomeu decided to tender his resignation rather than being forced out of the club. Here are the quotes from this dramatic turn of events. "I appear to announce my resignation and that of my board of directors," Bartomeu said on Tuesday evening. "It's a thoughtful, calm decision I've taken in consultation with my colleagues. After the elimination in the Champions League, it would have been easy to resign. We couldn't leave the club in the hands of a manager. We've been disrespected. They have insulted and threatened me, my family and the other board members. It has been an honour to serve my club. Today, we resign without having completed economic measures in progress. I hope that in the next few days the salary adjustment can be closed. If it's not done, there will be serious consequences for the future of the club. I recognise that rebuilding the team should have been done a year ago. I hope that time will highlight the assets of the last 10 years, such as the 22 titles won by the football team." Before resigning, Bartomeu claimed that he always knew the amount of criticism he would face for being firm with Lionel Messi, but maintained that he always acted in the club's best interests. Barca showed no leniency in their €700 million asking price for the Argentine forward, and that effectively ended any chances of a move to the Etihad. Bartomeu said that it was always the club's priority to keep Messi at Camp Nou and denied claims that he was forcing the all-time leading goalscorer into leaving just so the club could balance its books. Of course, whenever the president of a club as big as Barca resigns along with the entire board, it's bound to send reverberations around the footballing world. While doing our research, we were actually a little surprised by the statement given by La Liga president Javier Tebas Medrano, who actually supported Bartomeu for holding firm on his stance over Messi's future. Tebas was not entirely a huge fan of the now ex-Barcelona president and threw scorn on the European Super League idea, while also noting that Bartomeu made a lot of mistakes in the latter stages of his tenure. Now you must be wondering, why the heck did we bring the European Super League into this? Well, before he signed, Bartomeu's last act as the Barcelona president was to confirm that he's agreed to the club's participation in the controversial tournament. Of course, any final decision will have to be ratified by a vote that would be held by the next Barcelona president and its board of directors, but wow, Bartomeu was always good at rubbing up fans the wrong way. Globally, the concept of the European Super League has been met with a lot of vehemence and has laid bare the greed of many of the top clubs' owners who no longer want to compete on equal footing with financially moderately strong clubs. And this is what has irked Tebas a lot, who was not amused by Bartomeu's parting gift at all. Unfortunate Bartomeu's statement on his last day about FC Barcelona joining a weak and imaginary competition which would be their ruin, Tebas wrote. It confirms his ignorance about the football industry. Sad end for a president with successes and lately many mistakes. While speaking to ESPN a few days ago, Tebas said, that all those people and clubs that have been working on this concept are not only being selfish, but are ignorant in equal measure. Of course, there's a lot more to talk about this particular controversy, so we'll discuss this in one of our upcoming videos. So now that the dust is slowly but surely setting in, let's have a small discussion about the transfer market failures Barcelona had gone through under Josep Maria Bartomeu. Once Barcelona managed to sign Frenkie de Jong from Ajax, it appeared that they would also be able to bring in Matthijs de Ligt to Camp Nou. The young Dutchman is now at Juventus, where last season he eventually established himself as a valuable member of the starting 11. Barca, meanwhile, are still struggling in defence. This summer, Barca tried to sign Eric Garcia from Manchester City. A product of La Masia, the young defender wanted to come to Camp Nou, but the Catalan giants failed to make things happen. Who knows if the move will happen in the future? 4 years ago, La Blaugrana were keen on signing Marco Verratti from Paris Saint-Germain. The Italian midfielder was seen as Xavi's successor, but decided to stay at Parc des Princes, but Barca could have tried a little bit harder. Perhaps the club's biggest failure under Bartomeu would be seen as the club's inability to create a package that would see Neymar return to the club from PSG. The Brazilian forward was eager to end his association with the Liga and Giants after joining them from the La Liga side for €222 million. However, La Blaugrana were unable to capitalise on the player's interest and ended up signing Antoine Griezmann instead. The Frenchman made a big money move from Atletico Madrid, but is yet to showcase the form that made him one of the most potent attackers in the game. However, it's not entirely Griezmann's fault that he isn't doing well. The Frenchman's not been given a role where he thrives, and this season has been struggling for minutes. It's a similar situation with Ousmane Dembele, who was signed from Borussia Dortmund a few years ago. Bad attitude and fitness issues have severely impacted the young winger, who was apparently on the verge of joining Man United in the summer, only to reject the loan move. Lionel Messi was reportedly eager to see his fellow countryman Lautaro Martinez come to Camp Nou. The young striker has starred at Inter Milan in the last 12 months and has a fairly high transfer value, which is perhaps why Barca were unable to sign him. Now imagine if Bartomeu's recruitment drive was sustainable. They'd have been able to sign the young forward, who has so much potential for developing into a lethal striker. And this is Bartomeu's legacy. While we do agree that the former president was in an unenviable position, it's clear that he could have done way better. It made no sense to sack Ernesto Valverde when the club was leading the league and replace him with Quique Setien, who ended up doing more harm than good. Then, when it became clear that the club could not avoid finally starting its transition period, Bartomeu persisted in keeping hold of players who never wanted to stay. Swapping Miralem Pjanic for Artur Melo was a blunder that could still cost the club. The treatment given to Luis Suarez was appalling in all fairness. The Uruguay international wanted to stay, but was forced out of the club. Even if he was no longer needed, this could have been handled differently. And these are the issues that contributed to Bartomeu's eventual downfall. The final nail in the coffin was forcing Messi to stay against his will, and though Bartomeu might not be remembered as the guy who sold Messi, he will be remembered in less than warm terms as the man who brought the club to its knees.